everyone, welcome back to another episode of Steel and Wheels. This afternoon I'm going to start taking the diff out of this. We're still waiting on the serpentine belt and whatnot, but we may as well try and get cracking, so we just fired it up, spun her around, back her in here. Tonight I'll probably just pull the axles out of it, just get a good start on it tonight. And then tomorrow night we'll work on pulling the centre out, weld it up, see how far we get. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll have a bit more time because I don't have to work on Saturday, so we might finish it tomorrow night. We'll see how we go. For the guys who have never welded a diff before, I'll try and do some sort of how-to so you understand how to do it yourself. Now, this is not legal to drive on the street in Australia by any means necessary, so if you do it and you get pulled over, they're probably going to impound your car with the new hoon laws that are out there, and you'll probably lose it. This is a Paddock basher, burnout car, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Hence why it's getting a lock diff. Any questions about the process and whatnot, just comment, I'll try and answer it. Apart from that, let's get started and we'll see how we go. Alright guys, the first thing you want to do, jack your car up of course. Jack stands for safety. Now, I don't like using these points because they crumble and they'll wreck your car, but if you're doing this to your car, you probably don't care about your car that much anyway, so right there's a good spot. If you do it off your diff, what happens is you put the whole weight of the car on your spring, so then your diff goes up into the body of the car and you can't access everything quite as well. So if you can have your diff sit free, just laying on the slack of the suspension, it'll give you more space to do pull your diff out and whatnot. So now we'll pull the wheels off and start on the axles. Alright, step 3, you need your brakes off, so calipers. Okay, now for this vehicle, we're not putting the rear brakes back on, we're going to leave them off completely because it'll do a better burnout with no rear brakes. So I'll go pull the other side off and then we'll keep going. So I take the time to show you this brake pad. If your pads look like this, you should have already changed them like 20,000 Ks ago. This is atrocious. I know that's my fault because I didn't care, but it is what it is. But for you that can, I'll try and get that a bit clearer for you. You can see the concave on that, like against straight, like it goes like that. That is bad. You should see the rotor. I'll show you the rotor. That's what the rotor looks like. As you can see, it's only really done anything to the sort of the top half of it. And as you can see, it's 2 or 3 mil skinnier at the top than what it is halfway. That's not a good way to have your brakes if you drive it on the street. We're in a paddock, it don't really matter out here, but yeah, it's about time we sort of sorted that out. And the easiest way to sort it is just to remove them. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, axle and brake rotor time. All right, next up, you normally have a star screw bit sort of thing in here. Just like a bolt, but a screw with like a screw head on it. To get this off, you're gonna have to undo that. All that was just to break up all the rust that's built up around in here. And then you'll hear some people that'll say, if your wheel's been on your car long enough, if you undid your wheel nuts, it won't fall off. Don't try it, but it does to a degree work if you're not doing anything super strenuous on it. But it's only if it's been on there a long time. And basically what it is the rust builds up and causes a friction bond between the two of them just from being rusted together. So it does sort of work, but don't do it. All right, I'll grab some tools and we'll knock the back caps off. All right, to get those bolts out, we're gonna have to try and remove this. So I got a little electric ratchet that will Alright, so once you undo your 4 bolts in here, they bolt basically straight to the housing. You undo them, and then that's it. Alright, so with those 4 bolts undone, the axle should be free enough to pop out sometimes, so we'll just give it a yank and see if it won't just come out. She doesn't want to come out, so we'll just grab the slide hammer and just drive it out. So for you guys who don't know, this is a homemade slide hammer. It's actually built from an axle. What axle? I couldn't exactly tell you, but like if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably out of like a Borgie diff. Maybe one of these or something similar. If you know 100%, comment and let me know what it's out of, but that'll be my guess, is something like a Borgie diff or something. But basically how it works is you have something you can put around to hold it, and then this is a big heavy weight, and then it drives up onto that, which causes a hammer effect, of course, and then you drive it off. There it is, guys. I'd say she's been a long time, or its whole lifetime since she's been out. But that's an axle. There we go. That's the first sort of set of steps. All right, I'll go pull the rest out, and then we'll start on the center. All right, guys, we got the brakes disconnected. We took the axles out. Now we got to try and get the center out. Naturally, they are full of oil. Normally, they don't leak in these because the bearing cases sort of keep the oil in. But if you're really upset, do this step before you do the axles. But that's up to you. Alright, that's the cap off. That's your diff center. It's got your gears and whatnot. Basically, to pull this out, all you have to do is crack these two and these two. Since the axles are out, this will pop out. Alright, let's wait and grab the 1/2-inch rattle gun. Alright, now one thing I've noticed when I pull these out in the past is these caps have to go back on the side you pulled them off of, so don't mess them up. See if we can't get it out by hand rather than going to get the pry bar. That's your center. Alright, I'll put it up on the bench and we'll get started. Alright, so we got it on the bench. We're going to give it a degrees now. I'm not going to do it properly. I'm just going to spray it on there and wipe something off so I don't get it all over my hands as much. Alright, now there's two ways to do this. One's even dodgier than just welding your diff, and then the other one's just your dodgy normal welded diff. So, you can see just here there's a hole. You can weld straight into there and weld up your gears. It works. I've seen many people do it, many people still do it. Many people's cars are still locked and they're still working. So that's an option. It is pretty dodgy, but it definitely works. The other option is you take the top hat off and weld it that way. That's what we're gonna do. So I'll grab some stuff and we'll crack this top off and get it done. All right, I don't know if all diff centers are like this, but this one in particular is left-hand threaded bolts. So make sure if you're using a rattle gun, you put it on as if you were tightening it, because that'll undo your bolt. Alright, now you're going to drive these two apart. They will split. nice little cold chisel or something. Just go around it slowly. Bring it out. Alright, lift that up. There it is, inside of your diff that looks like it's seen fucking better days. Way better days. Alright, there are your wheels. So, I don't know how to show you this, but basically what happens is, you can't really see in there. Inside there is where your other axle goes, and these turn like this, and then these all turn inside here. Basically, whichever side's got the least amount of load on it, which side will get the drive. So what you want to do is lock all these gears together. Once they're all locked together, it'll drive both wheels at once, because this will turn as a solid unit, essentially. So that's what we're going to do now. We'll get some degreaser up in there. Let it soak in for a few minutes. I'll just air blow it off, and then that'll be good enough for me. We'll just start welding. I'll be back with you shortly. Alright guys, before I weld this, I thought I'd give you a close up. That's what it looks like. You don't want to weld that square bit in there. You want to leave that out for good reason, and I'll show you why after we've welded it. But we'll start welding it, then we'll do that bit, and then we'll move on to the next process. Idiot. Don't weld on your fucking rag. Alright. That's holding them all in place. Basically you're just welding, it's hot, these gears to your housing. Now what this does is stop your axle, which I showed you before, locks into here like that. Axle comes into there, that's into here. That's what drives it, like that. And when it rotates on all this, it will do whichever wheel it wants. When that goes in like that, it'll basically it has to turn this whole housing now, rather than whatever it feels like turning, which is of course better. So once we're done, we'll weld that to that as well, just for safe measure. But that's it welded for now. We'll get the next step going. Alright, now I was gonna show you a trick, but I can't get these pins out. I could probably get these two out, but I can't get this one out. There's a third one in there that holds this solid pin in, and I can't get it out. I think it's because we've already tried to weld this the dodgy way with the old welder that wasn't hot enough to weld it. And this pin shifted ever so slightly, and so you can't drive it straight out. And I've tried just punching it straight through and breaking the pin, but I don't have anything to hold it good enough. I think might be the issue, or I just don't have enough strength in my swing. Who knows? Multiple reasons why it might not come out. So the only reason you'd pull that out is so you can pull these pins out and just leave the cogs in there, and that's it. And the idea behind that is if you snap an axle up here, you don't have to pull your center out to get your axle out. You can just pull the other side out, stick a broom handle or something through it, and it'll pop a piece of axle out the other end. Bob's your uncle. That's what we used to do in Speedway, rather than drop in the center every time we snap an axle. So with how it is, we're just gonna have to run with it, and we'll, if we break an axle, we'll have to pull the center out. So with it like that, we might just weld it up, finish it off how it is, and put it back in. All right guys, it's time to put it back together. Easiest way to do it is to try and lift this up, get a bolt in it. That's probably your best bet. That was not in there, clearly. This is hot, so it may be hard to get it on there just due to it being expanded so much. Grab a soft hammer and see how much luck we have. Now, because this is so hot from all the welding and whatever, it's expanded a fair bit, so your ring gear might have a bit of a hard time trying to get on there, but we'll just see if we can't massage it on. Okay, now you want to wind this on evenly and slowly, remembering left-hand thread, so you want to put your rattle gun like it's going to undo the bolt. Once you've pulled it on, I know it's not flush yet, but that's fine. You gotta stick this bad boy back in there. Just sits out like that. There's a little shim in there, so we best put the shim in there even though she's cactus. It's clean enough, I think, for this job. Now, if you haven't done it before, left-hand threaded bolts, they're just awkward. Just knowing that you're doing them up, spinning backwards essentially, it's an odd sensation the first time around. Alright guys, so before you put your center back in, you want to give your housing just that little bit of a clean up. Razor blade's probably the easiest way to do that. Just go around and pick up any old gasket or silicone or whatever other debris on there. Okay, now you're probably supposed to do these up to a specific torque spec, but a couple of other ugger-duggers I think will be suffice with this one. Alright guys, I'll show you a little trick. First thing we'll do is clean this off a little bit. Like I said a few times, we don't really care about this, so we're just going to get the grinder, it's easier. Alright guys, so the other day, this is where we got to. I just took a grinder to it because I don't care, really. Just wanted to clean it up. Now, I said I was going to show you the trick, so this is the trick. Now this all started at work the other day, and someone told me this old wives' tale doesn't work. It more than works. It is a great little trick to get you out of a pinch, or whatever you're thinking that you may need a gasket for. Cereal box. It is the perfect gasket for many things. We're going to use one for a diff cap cover. Now, you really ideally don't want the seam in it because it may cause it to leak. But we're just going to put that seam at the top of the diff hat, and we'll never notice leak because they only really leak from sort of this sort of portion if it's going to leak. So let's grab a pen and we'll get this happening. Okay, so what you want to do, just real simple, get your pen, trace around your template, mark out your holes. Alright guys, there's your gasket, as you can see. She's just a normal cereal box. Now, a lot of you may already use this trick, I don't know. Had a conversation with a couple people yesterday, said I was crazy. Had a conversation with a couple people yesterday, said I was good. That's what they all do. So, it's probably your choice, and it seems to work fine for me. I've never had a drama with it. You can use a little bit of silicone on both sides to help it out a little bit, but I plan on just sticking it on there and running it. So, with that said, let's finish this diff off. Alright guys, so back under here, got your gasket. Alright, that's back in. We'll put the axles back in it and we're done. Alright guys, axle back in. This is the opposite of what we did to pull it out. Grab your axle. Okay, you want to make sure you can feel it lock in, so when it's not in the center, you can move it super freely, and you just want to try and get it in the center. You may have to twist it and move it so the spines line up, but now you can see it's a little bit harder to move, so I know it's in there. There's your back cap that we undid. Line it up with your bolt holes, get it as close as you can, and then just grab your bolts. Alright, it's one axle in, spins, just like we sort of hoped it would. Now let's put the other side in and it's done. Now, I can't remember with these ones whether there is a left and a right. I'm pretty sure there actually is, so if you go and put your axles side by side, I'm pretty sure you'll find they'll be different. Feel that groove, see nothing? There it is, got it. See, nothing, nothing, nothing. Find the hole, nothing. There it is there, locked in. Okay, as before, put it as far as you can. Line your plate up. Alright, I'll show you what it's done. For the people who've never done a locker or don't quite understand what's going on here, I'll give you a demonstration and we'll show you. So, if you look at this, we're spinning the wheel forwards. So the car is moving in a forwards motion. Now, before we did what we've done to the car, the other one with no load on the car, the other one will go like the other one would have turned in the opposite direction. So when I turn this one forwards, forwards anti-clockwise, which is forwards, or the other one would have been turning this way, would have been going clockwise. That's basically just the way the gears work inside. But when there's no load on a wheel and the load on the other, like if I put load on this one, then only the other one, the diff will only turn that one. If I have load on that one over there, this one will turn. It won't spin both the time. So this one's now moving forwards, and I can't really show you, but this one will be moving synchronized to the other one. So both wheels are locked in place and turning at the same time in the same direction, causing a lock diff, which is what everyone uses for burnouts and whatnot. So yeah, that's what a lock diff is. Alright guys, thanks for coming along for the lock diff episode, where I'm going to call it there for this episode because I did a bit of a how-to guide, so it's taking a lot longer to do. The video will be a bit longer, so didn't want to make a 40-minute video for you guys. Just wanted to try and make it short and sweet. That's basically how you do it. Once again, it's not road legal, so do not do it if you plan on driving on the road. If you do, the law will come after you. Yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, I appreciate you coming along. Add me on Instagram. You'll see some of the stuff that we're doing. You know, like and share the YouTube channel. See if we can't make this a bit bigger. Get some more stuff done. Now, in regards to the ute, let me know what you would like to see me do to the ute. You know, she's a farm ute, so there's no real legalities to what we can and can't do to it. So let me know. Let me know anything. Let's go crazy with it. You just want roll cages? You want something stupid? You want me to take the guards off of it and leave it guardless? Just let me know. We'll see if we can't do it, make it happen. Yeah. All right, cheers guys. I'll see you next time.